What's happiness? What do we all live in this life for, and how do we actually get the stuff that we want? Good morning. I'm Loretta Hart. I'm the founder of the Happy Chicks Collective, and welcome to the Happy Chicks podcast. Yes, looking like an absolute pro this morning. I've been sitting and writing, and when I write, things start to flow, and that's when I want to share things with you. So, coming at you live and raw this morning. Happiness. I talk a lot about happiness, and I know that at times happiness can feel like a bit of a glib word. You know, that it's something that really, it's nothing that we're really after because it's such a transient emotion. So I just want to open up and unpack this idea of happiness with you, because this is what I talk about a lot. I know when I speak to women, when I talk about what it is they want more of in life, they'll say things like peace, joy, calmness, excitement, confidence, courage, feeling like you've got your shit together, feeling like you're in control and in charge of your own, life and creating what you want. Like, these are the things that women want more of. More love, more feeling valued, feeling like they're enough, feeling like they belong and they're connected and they have beautiful connections. So these are all the things that we want more of in our life. And I'm like, yes, testify. I'll have bucket loads of those too, please. But I'm a bit of a simple woman, a bit of a simple chick. I like things that are easy to understand. I like things that are not too complicated. So for me, I use the word happiness to describe all of that. It's almost like my idea, my understanding of happiness is almost like the happiness is like a rainbow. That it is built up of all these beautiful pieces that we're just talking about, all the things that we want more of. When they culminate, when they come together, then we experience happiness in our life. And it's like this beautiful culmination of these things. I believe that happiness is available to everybody. Like, we all get to live the rainbow. I actually believe that while it's available to everyone, it also lives inside each of us. Happiness is an inside job. Now, we've all seen people who wander through life looking externally, looking outside of themselves for this thing that's going to bring that richness, that's going to bring that feeling of contentment, calm, peace, joy, confidence, courage, in control, in charge, success, all the things that build this beautiful rainbow of happiness. We've all seen people looking externally for it. We've all done it too. When I get this promotion, then I'll feel better, then I'll feel happy. When I lose the weight, then I'll feel happy. When we go on that overseas holiday, well, then I'll feel happiness. The thing is, whilst they're all amazing things to have, whilst they're all great goals for us to, look for and set up for ourselves, they actually aren't the things that bring the happiness. Okay? The happiness actually comes from in here. Because behind each of those goals, behind each of those things that we want or we think are going to enrich our lives, is a deep desire within us. When we plan that overseas holiday with our family, what are we desiring? We're desiring more connection, adventure, feeling like we're alive. These are the things that we desire. When we're wanting that promotion at work, when we're wanting that next level in our business, like, what is that desire that we're after? Well, that's about feeling successful. That's like feeling like we're valued, that we're enough, that we've got something to contribute to this world. That's all stuff that comes from in here. So happiness is available for everybody, and happiness is an inside job. And happiness looks like a rainbow. The other thing I want to tell you about happiness, that I really believe about happiness, is that there are many paths to it, right? It's almost like happiness is Rome. All roads lead to Rome, right? So for us, when we are moving towards happiness, when we're wanting more of that happiness, we can actually get it through a whole lot of different avenues, a whole lot of different paths. And that's what I want to explore with you guys in this podcast. I want to break it open. I want to break open each of these pathways so that, for some of us, we have blocks. We have blocks about a certain pathway. And if we believe that's the only way to happiness, then we feel like it's never going to happen for us. We feel like that happiness isn't part of the plan for us because we can't go down that road to it. But what if there's lots of different roads in? What if we have a certain block in one that while we work on that, we can actually divert and get to happiness another way? Like, how cool would that be? So that's what I want to play with. That's what I want to work with over, who knows how long this is going to take, over these podcasts together. So I invite you to be part of this adventure with me. I invite you to have an open mind, to be inquisitive, to be curious, to ask questions, so that more and more of these pathways can open up to you. So if you want to be part of this little adventure, there are a couple of things that I suggest that you might want to do. One is to subscribe so that you get the next installment when it's in, so you can be on this journey with me. The second thing I'm going to ask you to do is to grab yourself a journal. Now, before you have that visceral reaction that says, I don't journal, I don't have enough time, I'm not a writer, I've done it before, it doesn't work for me, journaling's a crock of shit. Before you go down that path, just take a breath. Just take a breath. All those stories, all those words and comments that just came into your head, if you had a negative reaction to the word journaling, I just want to let you know that they are just the words and the stories that you've been using for millennia, a long time, to justify your feelings or your behaviour about something. That's what all those comments in our heads are. They're just stories. I'm not going to ask you whether the story is true or not. We're not going to get into whether it's true that you don't have enough time to do any journaling, or it's true that you're not a great writer. We're not even going to get into true and false around that. Do you know why? Because at the end of the day, and this is said with love, I don't care. I don't care whether your story is true or false. Do you know why? Because we can make anything true. We can make anything true or false. We're great at it. We can justify anything. We can get evidence from anywhere. Oh, but you don't understand, Loretta. This happened here and this happened there, and I've got all this evidence around it. Of course you have. Of course you can justify your position and your story. That's human nature, to find reasons for things. Okay? So what I'm going to ask you to do is, instead of us trying to work out whether it's true or false, is actually to invite you to ask a different question. So, does the comment in your mind that I don't do journaling and I'm not a writer and I don't have time, whatever the story came up for you, I'd love you to ask a different question. I'd love you to ask this question instead. Is this story useful or helpful to me? Is it useful or helpful? Is it useful for me to put up a wall and go, I don't do that. That's not part of what I do. Is that useful? Is it helpful? I'm going to guess that it's a no. Now, my invitation to you is, if you have got a story in your head that is not helpful or not useful, I'm going to suggest that you just park it for a bit. Take it off the high rotation that you've got it going on in your head. You know, that 24/7, Spotify playlist you've got going in your head, that little soundtrack. The invitation is to take it off the high rotation list. Send it out for coffee, just so that we can actually get forward and move forward with this idea. Okay? So my invitation to you is to grab a book to journal in. I love a visual art diary. I'm going to show you. This is one of mine from a couple of years ago. Yes. Don't you love it? Don't you love how I covered it, just like a year 10 book from high school with all my gorgeous pictures? And I love the visual art diary because there are no lines, which means I can write any which way that I so choose. I can do diagrams. I can write big, I can write small, I can write sideways, whichever way I so choose. So this is what I love. I love a visual art diary. I love A4. You know why? Because you can find it on your desk. It's not going to get lost. So my suggestion, get it going, go and get a big one. Don't go smaller than A5. You know, A5 is half A4. Don't go any smaller. Don't go tiny notebook. Yeah, that's not comfortable to write in. When we are journaling, just going to say this. When we are journaling, it's for no one else's eyes but our own. So we don't have to worry about spelling. We don't have to worry about punctuation. We don't have to worry about grammar. The invitation is really to turn off that filtering process that sometimes we have when we write, because there is no right answer, there is no wrong answer. There's just what's coming out of us at that moment. Okay? So when we journal, when we write, the invitation is just to vomit on the page. Not literally, because that's messy, but just to allow the flow. Think of it a little bit like a hot water tap. I don't know what your hot water's like at your house, but you know, if I turn on a tap in my bathroom, it takes a little while for that hot water to get there. Same with our journaling. If I was to stand there and turn the hot water tap on and off, and on and off, and on and off, and on, I don't know, now I'm never going to get that flow of hot water. Same thing when we're journaling. The invitation is just to allow it to flow, just to write on the page. You will get surprised about what turns up. Just saying. Get a pen. Ooh, get a pen you really enjoy writing with. Something that's nice and fluid. I really like this one. This is my pen at the moment. It's got a nice grip on it and it flows really effortlessly along the page. And make sure the pen stays with the journal. Because you know what? We're all fantastic at distraction therapy where we don't have a pen. So then go and spend a few minutes looking for it, which actually ends up in us decluttering the third drawer down. Hello, distraction therapy, right? We've all done that. So have a pen that stays with your journal. And the next thing you're going to need is some space. Some space in that brain of yours. I have been there. I have been there when the warning lights are flashing, danger, capacity reached, do not put any more in here. Okay, if that is your brain, then to do this little adventure with me, we're going to need some space. So how do you create space? Breathe. Daily. I'm serious. Breathe. Get some time in nature. Yeah. So get your feet in the grass. Even if you're walking to the letterbox and back, you're just outside. Okay, you're surrounding yourself in a different environment, a different feel. Create space. Get your favorite grounding essential oil, a tree oil like frankincense or balance, or a petal oil like lavender or geranium, something that's just going to help you ground. Yeah? Apply that, sniff that. Find some space for you in your brain. We are really good at filling that up. We are really good at scheduling everything for everybody else and cramming more and more in there. But to do this sort of work, we're just going to need a bit of space, a little bit of a cordoned off area in our brain. Okay? Just for you. So to summarize, subscribe here, get a journal, get a pen, create a little bit of space, and get ready as we take this adventure exploring the different paths to happiness. See you soon. I might have had a shower by then.